Putting the X in success. CSR. How to be credible and impactful. With Pluxee UK's Burcin Ressamoglu and Claire Atkins-Morris of Sodexo UK&I.
Welcome to Pluxee podcast series today. Claire, welcome.
Morning.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I'm really excited to talk with you today. I think I know you for many years, maybe 4 or 5 years. And let me introduce you and myself first. I am the CEO of Pluxee UK, and Claire is the sustainability head of Sodexo for UK and Ireland, right?
Yeah.
And I know you have been more than 13 years in the company,
That's right.
but not always sustainability. How did you started your career in Sodexo?
Sodexo as an organisation is fantastic. It's been very good to me. I've done 9 different roles, 2 babies, and it's just been one of those journeys which I've just continued to grow, and the organisation has allowed me to. So within Sodexo, I've done operations, marketing, sales, and latterly moved into the sustainability director because it's given me the skill sets that to understand Sodexo. And once you understand an organisation, you then understand how to navigate sustainability within an organisation. But before I joined Sodexo, I have done sustainability roles. So I always knew I wanted to do environment.
So how many years now you are in Sodexo for sustainability?
I think throughout all the roles that I've done, there's been an element of sustainability, but primarily within this role is 2.5 years.
I am the CEO and leadership. I work in marketing, in sales, in all my career. And I was always a little bit hesitating when it comes to sustainability or environmental topics. You know, I am not very technical and I'm not really very well knowledgeable about this. You give me such an overview within the time that I can really take your insights and bring it to the business, and it is not to really get so much afraid of it, you know. It was really you make me get used to sustainability or to get more involved because you give me some directions which is really easy to understand, not to get afraid. So I really appreciate this. I think this is an important point. Most probably you have a lot of people around you who are experts on sustainability, but you have to manage also people who are not expert, but they want to do something or they have to do something. And that is really important to give this confidence to the people, the guidance, how you can get involved.
First, thank you very much. Sustainability itself is complex. So a lot of organisations would be thinking that, and I hear the words, it's soft, it's fluffy, but fundamentally sustainability is very much around data and transformation and being able to take people on that journey with you. And it's very much more around business acumen and financial literacy. So if an organisation finds individuals that can navigate their business and then apply sustainability, but do it in a way that's accessible. So it takes a particular skill set. And I very much have learned this through Sodexo. You've got ESG, so environmental, social, governance. You've got carbon neutrality. You have net zero. You could throw all of these words out there and then you start losing people because they go, whoa, there's lots of words. They sound all a bit scary to me. How is it that I can help? Because I know it's important to me and my values. So lots of individuals say this, but I feel that I don't know how to access sustainability and I don't know what part that I can play in this. So as leaders, we all need to determine how we make it really simple, really accessible to as many people as possible.
I fully agree with you. As I told you, I am always a little bit hesitating to get into the details of the sustainability. But at some point, if you are running a business, you are responsible for many things. And you have to understand, at least on some levels, what is really important, what we need to do, and so then of course you rely on your expertise.
Yeah.
So recently I told you I went even to a sustainability course, which is on the leadership level. It's not an expertise. It was also for me an eye-opener. It is not for business. You understand all the aspects of the sustainability, and the role of the businesses for sustainability, I understand it's crucial. So we have a big role to play, and we have to, as leaders, have to drive this for the sake of our, of our future. We know businesses needs to be taking some actions, governments, big organizations, and also financial institutions has to help to invest for the right investments and so on. What do you think, and what is the role of the businesses for sustainability?
A lot of organisations do have a lot of leverage and power. I find nowadays sustainability is like almost a right to play. So the market just commands it anyway. I think we're really lucky in the UK that there's quite a lot of conversation around sustainability, more so than I see and hear from other regions. We know that the government have made the net zero 2050 target legally binding for them. Yes, we still need to understand how we're going to get there and the transition to get there. The challenge that we always have as businesses is to understand the true impact, but it's not always easy because the economics to capture that is complex. So businesses need to go through much more of a transformative governance model to really look at what the true outcomes that they're looking for. Greenwashing's become more prevalent now, partly because consumers are asking the right questions, partly because there's more regulations around it. Mm-hmm. So the advertising agency now, we've seen much more scrutiny over like those large companies, and large sustainability kind of companies have also come under the sort of the spotlight. And the intent with greenwashing is that if you make a claim, then you are able to back it up. Mm-hmm. And you have to be able to back it up. So if you were advertising, you've got to be able to provide the data within when you advertise, which is really difficult because you've got like a really small spot, haven't you, for an advert, and then by the way you've got to put all the and this is the disclaimer, and this is all the things that are underneath it. But that's what organisations now need to do so that people can trust, and it goes back to this trust, can trust the organisations that they tend to lean into, because they see that it's important to them. I'm seeing much more organisations try and make it easier for the consumers by doing the hard work in the background, so then the consumer doesn't have to. There's a lot of pressure then on organisations to get to their goals, but do it in a way that influences the consumer but still ensures that the consumer buys their products. So it's a real balancing act, and you've seen some organisations that have really benefited from it, but there'll be organisations that won't pass the test. So there's lots of things you can greenwashing, social washing, so that's that, and then we are seeing more what's seen as green hushing. So organisations not wanting to talk about their green credentials because of fear of being criticised for it. And we see there's much more public litigation now. So there's more organisations being taken to court saying, you said this, your disclosures said this, that's not true. So let's take you to the claims court. And I think organisations are nervous about that. So there's a lot of data grabbing at the moment. That's what I hear, because fundamentally sustainability is about data. People want to know the baseline. If you say a big statement, then you have to have the data that backs it up. And I also see lots of organisations now that have made big commitments, but as sort of the industry's matured, people are sort of saying, hang on a minute, I actually didn't realise how much this is going to cost or how big a difference this is going to need for my organisation. We're going to have to move some of these commitments back, which is absolutely fine, but do it in a way that the market hears about it. But it's really difficult for an organisation. You can imagine being around the boardroom having to make these decisions going, we said we would do this and we're not going to reach it. How do we want to position ourselves in the marketplace?
I just want to come back what you were saying about the consumers and behaviors. It is really interesting. In UK, I feel it is already a big awareness about sustainability and a lot of initiatives, and also a lot of consumers are really looking for it. I know you have a big plans for Sodexo, and we have been already progressing for a very, very long time. And what is your key priorities in Sodexo UK and Ireland, and how are you progressing? And do you also have some challenges? I'm sure you have.
So we, as an organisation globally, have committed to be net zero by 2040. We were one of the first organisations for our long-term commitment to be validated by the Science Based Targets Initiative. So we call that the SBTI. Like, again, the public will be like, I don't get all of that. But those in the know will be like, the SBTI is one of those frameworks that's very much led by organisations such as the Carbon Disclosure Project, WWF, organisations that are slightly outside of the business world, so that you can, so businesses feel like they're being validated in the right way.
Claire, what is validated for the ones who should understand what has been validated? Can you a little bit elaborate this?
So they would, and again, there's a whole kind of, this is what you need to do as an organisation, but it's very much just a framework that you have to declare certain targets by certain dates. You have to declare your methodology for reaching that. You have to decide what legal entity you're trading at. So for large organisations, that makes it more interesting. It's about showing that if you put this commitment out, you know how you're going to get there. Mm-hmm. And it's covering the majority of the activities that you do. So it provides a bit of robustness that sits behind that. So anyone can say they're going to be net zero, and they absolutely could be net zero, but SBTI just gives you that extra element of, I suppose it's the scrutiny piece.
Okay.
So though in the marketplace, those that would recognise SBTI would be like, I understand the journey that they're on now because they've got SBTI validation.
Okay.
And that goes back to that governance piece. So we always look to seek, where can we get that external validation? So it's not just Sodexo saying that we are doing it in an impactful, authentic, transparent way. We have other parties that then say that on our behalf. And it goes back to the greenwashing conversation. Like, how do we, like, not just us say it, but others say it on our behalf? And therefore, the element of trust then comes through within that. But to get to net zero is complex, because it's not just one thing that you have to do. So net zero is, like, again, it goes back to sustainability. You have to determine what is materially relevant for Sodexo, then identify what is needed by when to be able to get to 2040. So that's considered a transition plan, and some people may have heard that like recently we've been talking about transition plans, but again, it's about authenticity. If you put a commitment out there, how do you then get to your end date? So a lot of organisations now, like us, have our transition plan out in the public domain. We've put all our data sources out into the public domain. Again, going back to that transparency. Where do you see it going in terms of your next steps?
Pluxee is a spin-off in February from Sodexo. So we are lucky because we have a strong legacy, and we are really taking all the knowledge and transferring it to Pluxee and using all our experience now within the Pluxee. We already have started to define our own path since 2020. And, we have a lot of commitments, but we defined independently for Pluxee our ESG targets in 2020, focusing like Sodexo 4 areas like the trusted partners, communities, environment, and the individuals,
Yeah.
And also we have specified the business initiatives we want to take. And in 2022, Pluxee outlines its net zero trajectory for 2035, which is a little bit different than Sodexo. And most recently, also we independently joined the UN Global Compact to support the Sustainability Development Goals. And we are trying to build our governance at the moment, which will make sure the continuity of our progress. And of course, we are a digital company. We have different materials for the sustainability. So, but the net zero target is really crucial. So we are working on it. And as UK, I'm really proud to say this year, for example, we moved to 100% renewable energy in our office. So step by step, we are really taking strong actions. But as leadership, we are really pushing hard that we bring sustainability, we embed sustainability into our product development and innovation, because we have a big impact, big volumes to our consumers, and anything we bring up, it will have a big also impact on the world or on our communities. So I'm very excited, to be honest.
Obviously, being the CEO, it starts with you. So you driving that through your organisation means that it's going to be a success.
And I when you go to the market, you meet with your clients, with your partners, competition is really very tough.
Yeah.
And if you are not really taking it serious, I tell you, in 3-5 years, you will not survive. It is not just for the ethnic reasons or, social aspects. It is an imperative part of the market that you have to take care, and all the organizations, governments are working in this direction. There is no way out. Either we take action today, or we will be in trouble in a couple of years.
No, I agree.
I have one more question to you. If you would have a magic, what on this topic, what would you do actually?
Well, I suppose if I had a magic wand, I would really like to give all the organisations that we work with the data now.
Okay.
Because what happens and what is happening is that we are so focused on getting the data, refining the data. People aren't focusing on the progress. And for me, and that's quite a short-term perspective, but for me, if we were able to really build some great systems, like we know you've got the whole AI piece coming through, like building these great systems means that we can all move together. So when we talk to our supply chain, because they sit again, big impact for us and our clients, they want to help and they're doing some great stuff, but they can't demonstrate the data that sits behind it. So then it becomes almost like an industry around data.
And I think it's also crucial, the data, to demonstrate your progress, your impact. You can say, you can introduce any initiative, any efficiencies. If you cannot measure it, you don't know the impact yet.
Yeah.
So it's really, data is really key. And it's not only for sustainability, to be honest, but I think everything, it is the heart of all the initiatives that you can see the impact on it.
But I wouldn't sit behind, so I know organisers go, we haven't got the data yet. And I was like, just continue to progress forwards. The challenge that those organisations have, though, is that their investors in their market are saying, well, we need to know the data from a greenwashing perspective. You need to be able to put that. So you get caught in the middle.
What would the top 3 advices you would give who would start to build sustainability strategy or sustainability initiatives in their business?
So ensure that you take some training. So you yourself have been on training. So understand what sustainability is, step 1. Once you've got a really great awareness, you can then apply it to your business model. Step 2, think about what is materially important for your organisation. So where are your large impacts? Step 3, make a commitment and get on with it.
Thank you so much. That's really good advice. And I had already started several of them, to be honest. And Claire, thank you for joining us today. It was really a good discussion. We will keep continuing to work collaboratively. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Burcin.
Join us next time to discover how Pluxee UK is putting the X in success, enhancing employee engagement and making life at work more joyful.